there, and welcome to the third edition of La Vista, Life in a College Town. Our hot topic for today is internet innovations, which is something our generation has grown accustomed to. Some using it for good and some for not so good. Video streaming websites such as Hulu and Netflix have grown in popularity in the last 7 years.
Yeah, you know, as a college student, I catch myself a lot of times, like, I love watching Netflix. I watch Netflix probably every night after I get off work. And a lot of times I find these situations where I get hooked on like one show, like I get hooked on The Office or I get hooked on Parks and Recreation, and I take away my time from studying for classes, like for this class. And so like I'll stay up late watching Netflix, and then like I'll kill myself later in the week trying to study for a test that I've got or something like that. And it's just like probably not a good study habit, but so far I've made it, so I'm gonna keep doing it probably until it catches me and bites me in the butt, I guess.
Yeah, see, me personally, I tend to give up sleep. Like, knowing I have this 8 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday, I still feel like I can stay up until midnight, 1:30 in the morning, watching whatever TV show I'm into on Netflix at the time. Like, I just recently got into Scandal and stayed up last night until midnight watching it, like, knowing I needed to be up in the morning. It's just kind of something, I don't know. I don't know how to break the habit, but...
I'm gonna one-up you guys here. I give up sleep and studying to watch Netflix. And I was telling my friend the other day, I actually watched the whole series of Gossip Girl within 3 weeks, my freshman year, just 3 weeks. So I have a problem. I feel like a lot of college students have the same issue just because it's so popular now, so.
Well, I actually, I usually just go to sleep pretty early on the weekdays. You know, I like to go to sleep by 9:30, but there is one show that I got started on Netflix, which was Sons of Anarchy. And if any of you have seen my Facebook posts or statuses or funny videos that I like to post, I am a obsessed fan, and I can't wait for the episode to start tonight. So, hashtag Sons of Anarchy. The internet has definitely changed the way we consume news. There are so many different places to get news these days, like all the different social media sites. So we talked to a few Texas Tech students to find out where they get their news.
Social media and sources like BuzzFeed are becoming increasingly popular ways for college-age people to get their news. Let's take a look at what these Texas Tech students have to say about their news consumption.
I get a lot of my news off of BuzzFeed or just different apps.
I get my news from the TV. I go watch different news channels.
Either like social media, or like Twitter.
I feel like most of it is off the phones, even if it is a news station app that they're using.
Like most of my friends are like me. They usually like learn stuff from social media, or like if they get online and like something pops up on Google or something like that.
I only pick out the stuff that I find interesting rather than sitting down and watching a segment where you get everything with the news channel.
I think that it's a good thing because I can like find out what's happening in the world just from being on social media, because I get on social media anyway, not necessarily just for that. So sometimes on Facebook people will post like articles, and then you'll read them, and then you'll find out that they're like not really true or reliable sources.
I don't really know what to trust on my phone.
I feel like everything's still pretty reliable. There's a lot more options, so it makes you question like if it's reliable or not, but I think everything's pretty reliable for the most part, as long as they're like credible sources and not, you know, Joe off the street or something.
But I mean, I think there's still reliable sources you can get it from if you know where to get it from.
According to Pew Research, 30% of adults get news from Facebook, 10% from YouTube, and 8% from Twitter.
Yeah, that's one thing that we as students, we need to be really careful of when we're reading things on social media, because recently, like I've seen on my Facebook and Twitter, there's been like a lot of fake news sites posting articles, which has kind of been a big problem.
You know, and I personally carry my phone a lot, so as much phone accessibility, you know, that we have and all the fake news, how do you guys feel about when your friends share a story and you obviously know it's not true, but people keep sharing it and it makes it this big old viral video or, you know, media thing, and people think it's actually really going on in this world when it's not even
There was a story on my Facebook wall that I was looking at, and it was near Halloween, so of course all those haunted house stories coming out on social media, things like that. I saw one where it said that an old man had a heart attack in a haunted house because he was so scared and ended up passing away in the haunted house, and no one noticed, thought he was a prop, and all this crazy stuff. And I mean, obviously that's not true. I mean, someone would eventually figure it out probably within like the first hour, and I mean, it just went viral. I mean, all these people were posting it like, can you believe this? Like, oh my God, the haunted house must have been so scary and all this. And I mean, that was obviously not true, you know, and there were plenty of other articles that were published saying that it wasn't true, but the fact that that one was posted first and people believed it is a big issue that we have today.
Yes, yeah, I have a huge problem with that because like there's an ethical question there, whether or not, we're all journalism students here at Tech, and so like, as a journalist, I wouldn't want to post something, like I see people do like April Fool's Day stories or something like that, and I wouldn't, like I see those, but it's like telling the public things that aren't true, and like you're leading them on to believe something that isn't really the truth. Like we're supposed to be keeping those in power in check, and this is kind of like an unethical situation.
Right, well, a good example, the website called The Onion, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that, but it's a website that purely posts fake news. And, you know, people reading the stories online from The Onion don't necessarily know that. It's not like it's published that it's all fake. But if you read on, it'll say like somewhere at the bottom or something that it's not true. But people believe that. People don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like for my mom last year around the Olympics and stuff, she noticed that, I don't know if y'all remember whenever they were like doing opening ceremonies and the Olympic rings opened up from some stars, and one of them just happened to not work. That night, she found an article on Facebook that she was freaking out about. She came and found me. I was home at the time. But she came and found me, and she was like, did you see this? Like, they killed the dude who was in charge of this. And I was like, Mom, like, what are you talking about? She showed me the Facebook article, and I was like, Mom, there's no way that that's true. Like, there's no way. Like, come on.
That sounds like something my mom would do. She would freak out too, but okay. While we are on the topic of Facebook, how many times have we all heard, speaking of moms, or professors tell us to be cautious of what we put on the internet?
Oh yeah, there's a huge problem recently, like right in our own state of Texas. There's this teacher in Duncanville ISD. She posted this tweet to her personal account. It wasn't like anything from the school account or anything like that. It was her personal Twitter, and it was there's some racist remarks in it, and there's a lot of curse words and stuff like that. So stuff that you wouldn't, I guess, hear a teacher normally say in a classroom for the most part. And she ended up, she was suspended without pay for some time, and then she ended up resigning from her job because she got so much backlash off of this tweet, and so now she's out of work and she doesn't have anywhere to go and no way to make money currently because she resigned from her job based off of just that one tweet that she posted. So it can really be a huge problem and a career changer, a life changer.
Yeah, speaking of just like, again to my mom, sorry to keep talking about her, I don't know, it's weird, but she just does a lot of funny things. But today's actually her birthday, and I was on Facebook the other day talking to her just like, hey Mom, like in a week it's your birthday, like I'll be home a week later, like how funny is that? And then a couple days later, I find on Facebook, they're selling this shirt that says, happy birthday to the best mom from her loving daughter or something like that. And I was like, is Facebook really trying to sell me my mom's birthday present? Like, it freaked me out because it's like so personalized, and I'm sure y'all have seen those personalized shirts and stuff that say like Vanessa loves the Red Raiders or stuff like that.
I'll up you one. I guess the other day whenever we played Texas, I posted something about Rec Texas, and they started selling me Texas Longhorn stuff on my Facebook, and that was, I definitely clicked, don't ever want to see this again.
Yep.
So,
Well, what about Facebook and dating? I know that that's become a huge thing now, and for this edition of La Vista, we wanted to find out how Facebook affects our dating habits. So we talked to Jacqueline Cravens, who is the Assistant Professor for Addictive Disorders and Recovery Studies from the Department of Community, Family, and Addiction Services here at Tech. Cravens is researching how social media impacts the relationships and how Facebook can be a contributing factor in many U.S. divorces here today.
Prior to me starting to do this research, there's not a lot in that area that we've done before. So some of the things that have stood out, just statistics that we know, as of 2011, 1/3 of divorce citations in the United States cited Facebook as being a contributing factor to why couples got a divorce. So I think it's really important that couples think about these issues and have explicit conversations instead of just assuming what I would think would be a boundary about internet use may not be a boundary to my partner. For younger college students, they are more tapped in and more understanding of what I like to think of as the culture of social media and kind of the norms. You hear people joke about, oh, I can't believe what my parents did on Facebook. It's so embarrassing, because older generations haven't really grown up with technology. If somebody logs in once or twice a week, they will be less likely to report trust or jealousy issues in their relationship than somebody that gets on 6 or 7 times a day. Today with technology, we're able to have the comfort and safety of an offline relationship while sitting on the couch, holding a hand of our partner, and having an affair on our smartphone. And I think the most important thing I've found so far is just the lack of amount of time couples spend actually having a dialogue about technology. Even if it has nothing to do with infidelity, things like if we go out to dinner or if we're sitting down having dinner, if my partner gets on their smartphone and they're browsing the internet, does that upset me or bother me in some form because I don't feel like we're connecting and giving each other 100% of our attention in that one moment that we're supposed to be connecting?
Talking to whom you are dating about online boundaries is important, especially with all the social media and dating apps there are today.
All right, guys, let's take a moment to appreciate my hashtag Man Crush Monday, Dan Thorne. I know that's kind of one of the hot topics we have today is viral videos, and as you see, Dan Thorne, he made a video not knowing that it was going to blow up like this. So he's actually been on a lot of talk shows lately from just this video that got posted on Facebook and shared, who knows, millions of times already. So
This video makes me mad. I know that you like Dan Thorne, and that's great for you, but oh man, I take my job seriously. I know y'all take your job seriously. Lots of people do. If that was actually happening, I'd be doing what Sarah was doing. I'd be just looking at him so like, what are you doing? Like, stop. We are trying to broadcast the news. Like, imagine how embarrassing that would be for the whole station if they came back and he was doing that. Like, no.
It would be a little embarrassing. I don't know. For the most part, I mean, I'm not particularly sure in that situation how it would affect me, but for the most part, I think I love viral videos. You know, people come up and show them to me. They're really funny. Like America's Funniest Home Videos was on like back in the 90s and stuff, and that was like even in a situation before there was the internet. With now those videos can go even more viral just with the way the internet is and like social media and sharing those on Facebook and Twitter and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's crazy how stuff can just take off in an instant. Just you put it up, and I mean, overnight he was a sensation almost. And kind of the same thing with like Alex from Target. That whole new thing, like it took off. It's not necessarily a viral video, but it's something that did go viral. And now he's got talk shows, and the other day he was on Ellen and just stuff like that. And it's like crazy. It's like, how does it just take off like that?
But I also feel that like the viral video thing, I think it actually can be used for good, because over the summer, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge raised millions of dollars. Yeah. And so, you know, some people can see it as, you know, using it for not so good, you know, but things like that show you that we can use the internet for good. You know, speaking of viral videos, you know, what we're talking about, there's a lot of people who have put videos on YouTube and actually gained celebrity status from it. Speaking of, you know, Justin Bieber, he started out on YouTube and Usher found him, and he's what, a millionaire or billionaire now?
Something.
Like that, yeah.
Who knows? He
He's
makes
got more money than I do.
Yeah, a lot more money than I do. Justin Bieber, pay my student loans, thanks.
Yeah, his career just really took off. I mean, if you go back and watch like his original YouTube videos and stuff, I found it like once his name came out, I was like, okay, who is this? So I went and YouTubed him. Now I don't know if they're still up or not, but it was just something like he just took off. It was an automatic sensation. Like you haven't seen anything like that since him. Yeah. And so it's just crazy how fast he's just got picked up and took off. And
right, well, there's another instance. I don't know if you guys know who Fred is, but he started off with YouTube videos as well, and then now he has his own TV show. Like, so I mean, that's insane too. Like he just
Yeah.
made YouTube videos for fun, posted them online, started starring in a couple like episodes of random other TV shows, and then eventually had his own TV show just off of his YouTube posts.
Well, this might show my age a little bit, but I remember on MySpace. Sorry, guys. I know. Okay, I know. I actually was one of the first people to like Taylor Swift's page, and no one knew who she was. I think it was the Tim McGraw song.
Love her.
Oh.
And so that I think I was like maybe like a freshman in high school or something. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's been around for a lot longer than people realize. But hey, whatever works for those people. So
Yeah, and like Kim Kardashian, I cannot stand Kim Kardashian, but the one thing I will say she's got is she knows how to take something and make it go and soar and just go viral. And why so many people care, I don't know. Personally, she drives me insane. I can't stand her. But her new picture, the one from Paper Magazine, where she was doing the break the internet, and that just took off. And now so many people are coming up with memes for it, and
It's ridiculous.
yeah,
It's
it really
all over
is.
my Twitter feed.
Yeah, and it's something that I'm just kind of like, I don't really care to see.
yeah.
And just right before finals, we caught up with Professor Seltzer, chairperson of public relations, about the effects of internet innovation, such as Netflix, have on college students and their study time.
That two-screen viewing, people watching the show while engaging in social media with other viewers, is incredibly popular. I know that a lot more people are cutting the cord, between traditional cable and moving to, a streaming only or, a TV everywhere kind of model. And you say college students, so it's particularly prevalent among, under 35, and specifically if they're under 35 and already have like Netflix or Hulu. I think it's the screen in general and not so much what's on the screen that's distracting. And I certainly hope people aren't like screening like episodes of their favorite TV shows during classes, because that's like not that the other stuff's okay, but that might just be going like way too far. So you might need to really question like why you're here getting a degree at that point, if you're going to spend your class period like watching TV shows. Now outside of class, I know as someone I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. I have plenty of other distractions at work. I have 2 small children, a wife that I actually like spending time with and doesn't mind me being around. So I have a lot of distractions. So I'm kind of selective about my programs, to use an older person term. But I do know that I have fallen into the binge viewing trap already on a couple of shows, because I've been behind the curve on certain shows like Breaking Bad, and then started watching it, on Netflix, and was like, well, I'll just watch one more episode. Okay, I'll just watch one more. Okay, I'll just watch like 10 more episodes. So I don't think it's something specific for students. I think it's just for viewers in general. If you are likely to get immersed in those kind of programs or those kind of narratives, those kind of continuing narratives, not so much the ones that are very episodic, but those ones where it's always like some sort of cliffhanger, then it's hard not to like, feed your habit and push, start next episode. And some of them just automatically start it too, which is where they really get you. So I see that as potentially being problematic. But again, on the whole, I don't see it. People, most students and adults, people are sometimes real good at finding ways to distract themselves from things they probably need to be focused on.
Yeah, it looks like we aren't the only students out there that are struggling with sacrificing like our study time or our sleep time to binge watch our favorite TV shows that are on Netflix or Hulu. So that makes me feel good. I'm not alone out there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, with finals coming up, I hope all of you do really well and prepare for the finals that we have to take no matter what. So my tip for everyone out there is to eat a hearty breakfast. My favorite meal of the day is breakfast. And it's true what they say, breakfast is the best meal of the day.
I would just say maybe swear off the Netflix. I know I'm probably going to have a problem with that, but just try and swear off of it for the next week and a half, I think it is. I'm trying to avoid looking at my planner for those few days, but just try and swear off of it for the ending so we can push through and really survive.
Well, this was our 3rd edition of La Vista, Life in a College Town. Thank you for watching. I'm Alyssa Herzog.
I'm Stacie Wirmel.
I'm Everett Corder.
And I'm Vanessa Ledesma. Hasta la vista.